Hi everyone, welcome to NetWORK Inspire. My name is Emily May and I will be your host throughout this content series with Burberry and Gen G. So throughout this journey, we're going to be highlighting some female champions of the industry. We'll also be touching upon some core issues in the gaming and creative spaces. To kick it off, I'm going to introduce who's with me here today. Eunice Chen, who is the founder of Enlight. We have Christology, who's a Twitch ambassador, variety streamer, and cosplayer. And Melissa Roth Mendez, who is the Global Vice President of Brand at Burberry. So starting with Eunice, could each of you share a little bit about yourselves and how you ended up here today?
I actually have been working in gaming and esports in the industry for about 10 years now.
Oh, wow.
So I started with Riot Games, moved my way over to Cloud9 Esports, and now I run my own company called Enlight. And my passion essentially is helping people develop their careers in the professional side of the industry behind the scenes and teaching them how to further their skills and develop their journey in finding a better career for themselves.
So I've had a really incredible career at Burberry. It's been almost 15 years. I've had a variety of roles and eventually it developed into a leadership position, and now I support 21 amazing professionals in 6 countries.
Oh, wow.
But on top of that, I founded and I'm the executive sponsor of an employee resource group called Women Empowered, where it started with 9 women in a conference room, and now it's over 300 from across Burberry. And it's become a really incredible community that connects and inspires and helps grow and develop women.
I'm Krista, Christology. I have been a content creator for 10 years now. I play video games, and my main passion with doing gaming is to show women and women of color that we have a space in the industry just like everyone else.
Let's go. You know, we're all here with powerful women. I'm so excited to meet you. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you.
So we're going to discuss the power of your platforms. But first, we're going to kick things off with an icebreaker called Who Did It? So I have here a couple facts about each person, and we're going to have to guess who it's about. The first one is, my fun fact is I just adopted 11 baby chickens.
Aww.
So cute.
And the next one is, I used to ride motorcycles with a pink motorcycle suit.
Oh, wow.
Excellent.
And the last one is, I've spent 100+ hours in Stardew Valley. So if anyone has any guesses, I have the cheat code here, so
I think Eunice, did you used to have a pink motorcycle
I
suit?
did.
Excellent. So cute. And then Melissa, you must be the one with the chicks.
I did. I just adopted 11 baby chicks on Friday.
Oh my goodness.
I'm the nerd with 150 hours in a video game.
I was going to say that could be true for a fact for me too, because I've spent just as much time in Stardew Valley.
It's okay. We have virtual chicks.
wait, how is it going with the baby chicks?
They're living in my basement.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
It was a spur of the moment decision, but they're really cute and they're a lot of fun.
Are you still riding your motorcycle? I need to know.
I am not.
Do you still have the pink suit?
I still do. I couldn't bear to give it up.
Well, you know, now that we know some fun facts, we're gonna move on to our story time, where we talk about how we elevate others through our platforms. And we're gonna have note cards, actually, here. Look at these
Fun.
cute little note cards. Let's just take one off the top.
All right, my question is, can you tell us about a time you are proud of where you were able to use your platform to create change? I love that. So my excitement with working on Enlight is really using that platform to create change in other people's lives. When I was growing up, I actually didn't know that jobs existed in the gaming industry or the esports industry, which was sort of non-existent at the time. And with Enlight, I actually have been able to help people get tangible jobs in the industry in roles that they never imagined they could be in. So it's sort of a part of me and passing it on to the community in the way where I'm able to teach others and help others in a lot of ways where I had to learn the hard way.
What's a fun job that people may not know existed in the gaming industry that you possibly introduce somebody to?
Yeah, there's so many that are not glamorized in front of the camera. So for me, I actually started out planning events at Riot.
Oh, wow.
And before I joined Riot, I was actually running my own event company, but in marketing, not in games at all. And from there, I was able to learn that there are broadcast production crews, there are IT crews, there are people who, we utilize technical skills to set up live servers at events, but also behind the scenes for a live game. There's all kinds of technical positions that people don't necessarily encounter when it comes to esports. They think about it when it comes to game dev or running a game, but when it comes to esports, someone has to set up the computers for the games, right? And so something like that where that's a more technical path. And for people who have more soft skills in the marketing side, there's everything around brand and content creation, obviously. But behind the scenes, there's people who are great at communication and can work on account management and partnerships and work with talent. So there's all kinds of career pathways.
There's events, there's setting up, there's like everything surrounding your company. It's like how, how Burberry works, like everything works, right?
Can you tell us about the first time you realized your or others' platforms could be used to make change? About 4 years ago, I was put into a position of leadership at Burberry. And I remember I was actually the senior most woman in the room, and I was the only working parent.
Wow.
And I realized that I needed a network to support me on this journey as well. And I looked around and I realized that probably a lot of other women felt the same way, and there wasn't one. And so for the first time, I felt like I could empower myself to do something about it. So I really just started calling on the kindness of others. And I sent out an open email to colleagues across the globe and said, hey, if you're ever in the New York area, could you come and talk and inspire us? And I think that's how this all really started. It was just one tiny small step and one personal need to really be able to connect and form my own network to help me on my journey and realize that I could do the same for women elsewhere. And it was really incredible how something so small can really have such a ripple effect for so many people.
Yeah, I think it's really important now to have a lot of women in places of power, right? Because how are you supposed to make change if the women are not in places where they can make change? So that's so exciting. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, so my question is, can you tell us about a time you or someone else used their platform to highlight something you did? How did it help you succeed? Well, I attribute a lot of my success to my friends and those around me who would help share the things that I have going on. Like there was one time I was on a billboard in Times Square.
What?
Which was really crazy.
So fun.
And things like that, people are there to uplift me and help me out. There's so many creators, women creators, who retweet things that I have going on, sponsorships, and I try to do the same for everyone too. Like whenever I see a sponsored post from someone, I be sure to like it, because the support that we give each other really helps move us forward. And when you grow on platforms like Twitch and stuff, collaborating with others often helps give you more visibility to a bigger audience. So I try to always make new friends with new people to show them to my audience, show them amazing people that I think are good role models in this industry, and people do the same for me, and I appreciate that a lot. And another thing I would mention is that, Gen G as well, me being a part of their team, being able to work with all these other creators and do cool events like this is also a reason for not only my growth in the industry, but as a person.
I think it's so important. I think people forget that, especially in the creative space, it's about working with each other. It's about collaborating. I think that's kind of what you guys are all doing, right? Helping each other, helping other women, helping people in general in the creative space, because it's not easy. I think people forget that once you come into the industry, you just have your foot through the door.
Yeah.
There's so much more behind the scenes that, sometimes people don't know how to navigate. So I think it's amazing that you guys are helping people navigate. So the next segment is called Inspire Us Using Your Platform for Good. Just not using your platform, you gotta use it for good things. You're like, what is on my feed right now? Oh my God. Yeah. No. So could you tell us about a woman that you admire who's using their platform to change the industry and what you think we can learn from them?
I've recently become very enamored and inspired by Bosma St. John. And she is a very well-respected chief marketing officer, and she's had a wide career. Most recently, she was at Netflix, and she's been speaking quite openly. And one of the things for me that is just so incredible about her is that she's so unapologetically authentic.
I love that.
She owns her space, and she's very, when she talks, she explains to others that even though she was different from those when she entered the room, she never felt that she had to change to fit in. She felt it was so much more important to change your surroundings to suit you. And she talks about how important it is to constantly grow and develop and learn, and that it's not always such, massive change that you have to make to be that positive change. But she says you just need to be a molecule, right? Just like a molecule that makes a small impact, and every little bit of change helps. And I just find that so inspiring, and she builds confidence in women and minority women, and gives people, I think, the confidence and strength to really be themselves and really make the change that they want to make.
I actually think that's super cool because in a creative space, everyone's like, be yourself, do whatever you want. But I think sometimes that's really scary. I think taking a step to change and try to make change and do something different, and that's not the norm, is actually kind of scary sometimes.
It requires you to be vulnerable, right? It requires you to really put yourself out there and be vulnerable and possibly fail. And that's scary. And to have that bravery, it's incredible. But to also have what you feel like is a network of support around you to catch you when you fall or help brush off the dirt is really special and really important.
Yeah, you gotta have friends. You can't just go home and eat a tub of ice cream all the time.
You can do that too, but it's nicer to have a friend to do it with.
You guys are scooping the ice cream together. It's a good time.
Yeah, I definitely think going full-time content creator was definitely a scary thing for me, but seeing other women have done it before me, like Valkyrie, for example. She is somebody who has made strides in the industry, being part owner of an organization herself and doing all these other things. It's really inspiring to see that you can do it.
I love that. That's two strong examples of women who have really made strides in the industries that you work in. And for me, I actually find role models in a couple different women, but one that stands out for me is Heather Sapphire Garozzo. She is a former professional player, and she currently works at Dignitas at another esports team, but she also works on a number of different initiatives that help promote and elevate women, both on the business end, where she does a lot of production and hires for a lot of production roles, but also on the professional pro player end and the content creator end, where she herself has understood that kind of journey, being minority when it comes to being a professional player and esports athlete, and so she's able to help be a role model and elevate other women in that journey in becoming a pro player. So for me, I really look up to something like that, where someone can be multi-talented and be able to elevate others in so many different ways, but also around just impacting women positively and elevating others.
That's so cool. Have you been gaming recently? Curious.
A little bit.
What have you been playing?
Oh, now I play a lot of single player games. So Stardew Valley obviously is a big one. I have been playing Death Stranding for quite a while.
What's that?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's
interesting.
It's a journey where you are thrown into playing a character where you're delivering packages in a post-apocalyptic world.
Whoa, okay.
I'll have to check that out.
I guess I'm coming to New York and we're gonna play that game together.
There you go.
Definitely.
There you go.
So, you guys talked about a lot of cool women, but is there a woman that you would like to collaborate with to make change?
I don't know, I feel like I have a couple of answers for this one. I'm so fortunate that I feel like I get to collaborate with some really incredible women on a daily basis. I'm surrounded by strong, passionate, really brilliant and creative women, so I'm really lucky. I think if I was to think out there, I would probably think of Reshma Sajani, and she's the founder of Girls Who Code.
Wow.
And it's an initiative that really brings coding and technology to early education, particularly to women, right? To really fill that gap. Her, I think, because she doesn't just dream big and talk about the importance of this, but she just went out and did it, right? And then if I was to think maybe more realistically.
Hey, anything's possible.
Anything is possible. But if I was to think more realistically, I love what I'm doing and the women that I'm collaborating with, but I think I would want somebody to help push me a bit, to not do it so privately, right? And to make my voice a little bit louder and perhaps a little bit more public, and to push me out of my comfort zone.
Ooh, well, I mean, we're pushing a little bit out right now,
This
right?
is a big push out of my comfort zone
making you
today,
speak right
actually,
now.
yeah.
For me, I have a lot of like amazing friends like here at Please, City On, Big Boss Bows, and I feel like they're all like really creative women who do amazing like things in the industry, and like I would love to do like some project with them where we maybe have a panel, answer questions for like other inspiring girls and like women in the industry who want to become content creators. The space can be like kind of scary because of, you know, some of the, I guess, harassment we receive online and stuff like that, and it's sometimes like hard to navigate, and like I feel like it holds some people back on wanting to pursue a career online. But like I feel like with someone to give like the best resources that they found worked for them, like for me, for example, like dealing with harassment and dealing with people who want to gatekeep games I want to play because they're just for boys, like okay, whatever, you know, and stuff like that. I think that would be like a really cool thing to do.
I think it's so funny that people gatekeep games. Like,
yeah,
don't you want your game to do well? Don't you want more people to be playing it? So then they keep updating the game?
Exactly.
You know, I don't know.
They're like, what's his birthday? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just trying to play the game here, you know?
Yeah.
I don't need to know every fact or detail to enjoy this.
Can I just be here and suck at the game and still enjoy it? You know,
Exactly.
like, I think that's the thing about games, right? You just play it just to play, and it's kind of fun. You don't always have to be amazing at it. You don't have to like grind super hard for all the games, and it's just, it's fun, you know?
No,
is that a hot take?
It's not.
Okay.
You're so right.
Games are for fun, obviously,
Exactly.
right? We all play games for
That's
fun.
so true. Yeah.
I actually also have been really fortunate to be able to work with a lot of women who want to give back to the community and helping others gain more of their career development side of things. For me, I do want to work with someone who can push me. So I'm really good at operating and making things happen, but I'm not so good at necessarily being out, like putting myself out there. And so again, this is also a really fun experiment to be part of this. But someone that I really admire is Erin A. Simon, who is a lifestyle influencer and host, and she also is a part owner of an org, and so she's been great in just pushing the business side of things, what it means to be integrating lifestyle and gaming and esports all together. And so it'd be really cool to work with someone a lot more creative than I am, where I think I can really execute on an idea and really brainstorm on things, but I really want to work with people who are a lot more creative and who have that outside reach into other industries that are more fun and bring an entertainment layer into gaming and esports.
I love how everyone here is like, I love getting out of my comfort zone. So technically your comfort zone is being out of your comfort zone. So I'm like, what's going on over here? But actually, I'm super curious. Is there something that you've done recently that you felt like, this is out of my comfort zone, but I loved it?
This.
This?
This is really fun, but I've never done anything like it.
Oh, wow, really? Hello, she's killing it.
See, it's good to have a powerful woman around you.
For me, I would say every day working on Enlight has been quite a journey.
Every single day.
I think it's always scary to be running a company by yourself. For me, I love it. I relish the adrenaline. I relish putting myself out of my comfort zone, but it's also scary at the same time, right? I'm not going to pretend that it's not scary, but I love it and I live off of that. So for me, I have to always remind myself that any little step I take outside of my comfort zone every day is good enough, and I don't have to burn myself out. I don't have to prove myself. I don't have to, do any of those things that make me burn out necessarily. So I need to be comfortable with my decision on how far I'm willing to go and make this a marathon and a journey rather than a sprint. So that's my journey every day.
There's so many good things in there. I mean, fear is such a motivator to begin with, but then the importance of not, I guess, burning out just to the sake that you say that, I did that much, right? But also taking care of yourself along the journey. It's really impressive.
For me, I just moved to LA and I've only been here for like a month now. Thank you. So making out of my comfort zone is like coming across the country. I moved from Virginia. I'm away from my family. And I did this because I wanted to do more stuff in the industry and get more involved and do more things in person like this. So, I mean, it's been a great decision. I've been doing so much recently and like I've only been here for a month. So I'm really happy that I did it.
Congrats. Congratulations.
That makes so
Thank
much
you.
sense. I was like, how have we never hung out before? But now I'm going to take you to go get boba. So
Yes,
that's what's happening
please.
after this. We're going to go get boba. Yeah. So in our final segment, I would actually like each panelist to raise their hand every time they hear someone else mention something that they're like, you know what, I can relate to that. Would you say that those with platforms in the industry are cooperative or competitive?
I feel like from what I found, it could be either or. It just depends on the person you're talking to, you know. Thankfully, the friends that I have found in the industry and people I've met have been very cooperative, but I've definitely seen people be competitive. You know, I think it's just the nature of the person. Use your best judgment on who is truly there for you and who isn't.
I agree with you, Krista. I think roles can be very cooperative or competitive, especially on the business and the industry end of everything. So when I first started in the industry working behind the scenes, there were not a lot of women, especially in leadership roles. And so there's a lot of women competing for the same roles or trying to be the only woman in the room because that was the special kind of attention that they could get. And so it was really hard to see women elevate other women, especially when there were so few of us at that time. And now I'm happy to say it's gotten a lot more cooperative where there are a lot more women in the industry, in leadership positions, in orgs around the industry. And it's really important to see each one of those elevate other women because we've sort of discovered that it's a lot more fun to be supportive of each other rather than competing with each other. And it's been great to see that sort of journey throughout the years.
That's great. I feel like for me, I'm not sure that it's either cooperative or competitive. I think what ends up happening a lot of times is that we're all out there hustling so much that we just don't have the time to bring others along with us. So I don't feel that women are competitive. I just think that we need to make more time to slow down, to bring other women along with us on the journey, to realize that it needs to be done at all levels of your career, right? Like not just at the end, but really at every stage. And I think we just need to take a breath and do it, right? I don't think there's a negative or positive intent behind it. I think we're just not making the time or space to create that.
That's actually so interesting because I think some of us forget to stop and breathe, right? We're kind of going like all of us, right? We're in places where we're just constantly going. And I think a lot of people need to take time and just kind of relax and reflect. And I feel like it's really cool to like get together to do stuff like this, to kind of talk about, you know, what we can do to make change or maybe what we can do to relax, you know? Like, I don't know, maybe we just need to chill for a little bit. How would you say platforms over the years have changed in terms of inclusivity and representation?
Well, I definitely have seen improvement for sure, I think, with, you know, diversity and stuff within like companies and everything. I definitely think when I first started, back in like 2012, you know, when I was little, like I feel like I didn't really see people that looked like me, but now, thankfully, I do, and it's inspiring, and I know it inspires like others. Like my community has like told me like, "Hey, Krista, like I'm so happy I got to see you do this thing. I'm gonna start my channel too," or you know, stuff like that. So I think that over the years it has definitely like, improved. I mean, there's still obviously work that needs to be done, but I'm happy to see change.
I agree. I think companies have had to change. It's no longer enough to say you're going to be a good company. You actually have to be that company. And I think that over time, you know, there's been such a growth in employee resource groups to support these efforts, and it's not a one-size-fits-all approach, right? You can't just have one employee group or one voice. You recognize you need to have multiple voices at the table. And that by allowing these different groups to happen, whether they be for women or, you know, for pride or, you know, for your background, to give them a platform and to give them a voice and to support them on that journey, it's good for the individual, but it's also good for the company. And I've noticed a huge shift towards that.
I agree. I feel like when companies, you know, actually work on being inclusive and they just don't say that they're being inclusive and they actually do it, it makes such a huge difference. You know, we're gonna be inclusive and we're gonna hire everybody who actually know what it's like to be in these groups. And I think that's so important. Yeah.
Me too.
So.
Yeah. it's incredible to see how much of a commitment that companies are making in the gaming and industry space and creative spaces in general to actually hire a diverse population and candidates. And for me, I've been really fortunate to work with partners who actually come to Enlight and want to tap into our community because we're helping train people in their professional journeys, and especially working on sponsorships to give women and underserved communities these kinds of opportunities. So I realize that it takes a lot more work. You know, recently I just hired a production crew that was all women, and it took we ran a tournament with a partner, but it took me 5 times as long to find an all-woman production team. I had applicants from people left and right, but for me to really target the quality and the type of people that I wanted on the broadcast team, it took me 5 times as long. So it takes work, it takes commitment, but a lot of companies are really dedicating that time and effort to doing that behind the scenes, and not, you know, they're talking about it, which is great because it brings up awareness, but not necessarily boasting about it, to your point, Emily.
Maybe that inspires more more women to get into the industry because they know now that there's you know, an opportunity for them to succeed once they put their foot out. Exactly.
I mean, I'm sure like women look at you and they're like, wow, there's like a woman in a leadership position in a brand like this, you know? Like, I'm sure that inspires like a lot of women, and like, you know, just you coming out here and talking about it today and like sharing all of this, even though it's out of your comfort zone, like I'm sure people are watching this and like watching everyone here, like, come on, you're a CEO, like let's go, you know? And like for you, like there's tons of people who do like all sorts of gaming, that like content, but it's scary to kind of do all of it, right? Because, you know, if you think about streaming, there's a lot of people who are like, this is the category that I stream. Like, I just stream this one game or just do this one thing. But you kind of do it all, and I think that's kind of scary, right? Like, it's not easy to be like, hey, is this crowd gonna always watch me do everything and just explore and be me? And I think that's really scary. I was like, I streamed a couple of times and I was like, I'm terrified. You know, everything's being recorded. What if I make a mistake? So it's not easy, you know, and being in leadership positions too, because the decisions that you guys make affect everybody, right? So it can't be easy to like go out there and like make change and do all that, so.
I think it's what's so inspiring, right? It's like if you think about on a daily basis, really what gives you that energy and that passion and that drive, it's probably not sitting at your desk looking through your emails, right? I mean, I enjoy what I do as part of my job a lot, but it's, I think, the connection with women and seeing women be better than me and grow past me and achieve their full potential, but also do things that they never thought that they could have done before. That's what gets me, right? Like, that's what gets me excited to go to work every day.
I really like that, because I think a lot of times when people think that if you see someone who's better than you at like something, that you should be afraid of them, and you shouldn't. You should see what they're doing and you should learn, right? Because I'm gonna be honest, are there a lot of people better than me? There's a ton of people who are better than me, right? But I feel like it's important to not be like jealous or not be fearful of that. I think it's a chance to like learn. So I love that, What do you think it means to form strong networks and friendships in the industry? So specifically around females.
For me, I think it's like a great support system, especially like when I'm dealing with issues where, like, you know, harassment, or, you know, I just need to vent about something. It's nice to have people who understand what I'm going through.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And not only that, it's like great to just like have people that, you know, you have like similarities to, that you can hang out with. I find like all my closest friends, you know, we all play video games, we all do this stuff, and they inspire me too. Like, just like you said, like seeing other women do well, like I'm like, wow, that's awesome. I want to work harder so I can be just like them.
Somebody told me a long time ago that you should create your own personal board of directors. And that's something that I've been working on the past couple of years, right? Of pulling together a group of great women leaders, and, you know, at all levels of their career, to be my personal board of directors, right? And to go to them as a sounding board for a large variety of things that come up. But I think having that network and not, I guess, being on your own and just thinking that you have to do it all, I think it's really important. And I think to open yourself up to allow that support, because I think sometimes as women, you know, you drive yourself so hard and you try to do so much and you try to carry so much, but to let yourself be vulnerable enough to, allow yourself to say, hey, I need some support right now. I need some mentorship. I need some guidance. And I think that that's really been a turning point for me.
I think it's not crazy to be like, hey, you can be a strong woman, but still like ask for help sometimes, right? Like either emotionally or like even on the business side of things, right? It doesn't make you less strong.
No.
It doesn't. It doesn't. And I think the fact that you can ask for help actually makes you stronger, because then you realize the places that you might be missing things. Because I think that there's no way that one person can do everything. It's just not possible. It's not humanly possible. If you are out there and you can do everything, please let me know. But but I just think that it's good to find people, like you said, board of directors, where people may specialize in different things. Maybe they have strengths in different places, and to surround yourself with other people, like women or not women, whoever it is. Maybe it's 11 chicks, who are just there to support, emotionally, like everything. So I think that's amazing. I should do that. A board of directors for life.
I like that.
That's like, yeah, I haven't thought about that, but I think I'm gonna go do that now. Yeah.
I love that. And you know how people say you are who you surround yourself with in your personal life. You're like the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, or something like that, right? I've never heard that for a business side of things, so I love that. I'm going to steal that as well.
I don't know where I heard it from. I wish I could get credit to somebody.
Oh, I know, we're gonna steal
But it's
these
working
tips
for me.
now. If you were out there and you gave that advice, thank you. We're all stealing it now.
But I love that. I've actually tried to apply that kind of perspective a lot more to my personal life as well, because growing up I was pretty much a tomboy, and I was very much the only woman in my computer science class, in my motorcycle club, and all of these things, where playing video games even, I couldn't find other women to play video games with. And now that I'm in my adult life, I'm realizing how important it is to be vulnerable and have a support system of women that understand what I'm going through, and we can share and connect over things that we only experience. And so it's great to be able to see that in my personal life, but also in my business and professional life. Now that I'm sort of within Light, I'm blurring my personal mission and my business mission together, so it's actually doubly important for me to be able to do that in all aspects of my life. So I love that.
It's incredible.
Do you guys have a way of a way that you would say you deal with stress? Like, let's say you come through like a stressful situation, you're like, this is a lot, what do I do? Like, is there a way that you guys cope? So I personally just watch a lot of anime. Like, I'll just sit there, eat a tub of ice cream, maybe not good for you, but I'll just like sit there, eat a tub of ice cream and watch some anime, and call one of my friends, and I'm like, But do you guys have something that you do that you would say relieves like your stress?
Actually, I started reading a lot more, and I just put my phone down, turn it off, don't look at it, and just read a book for like hours, and it's nice. I love like stories, and like that's what got me into video games.
I like the story element as well, so I grew up playing a lot of RPG games like Final Fantasy, but now I also use those single player video games to relax and decompress. So Stardew Valley is super relaxing, it's very chill.
Check that out.
Oh my god, it's like a, what is it? It's kind of
It's
like
like a farm sim.
Yeah, you're
So
farming. So
See, I might have to look into this
you might
now.
have to with the chicks,
Yes,
and then
I
now they're
agree.
also virtual.
And it's just single player games take the pressure off, and you sort of get lost in the story, you get lost in the world. It's a lot of fun to decompress that way for me.
That's great. I don't mind stress so much. I tried, I think I learned a while back to try to use it more as an energy and as a drive. But I do agree that there are moments, right, where it just feels like it's become overwhelming. And when it gets to that point for me, it's a big flashing light of I need to take a break, right? And it's stepping away or going outside. I like to bake. I find it really relaxing. It's very therapeutic. But really just disconnecting, like really truly disconnecting from what is causing that stress and try to distract myself from it.
What's your favorite thing that you baked recently? I'm so curious.
Oh, I'm a cookie baker. I really like to bake cookies, like the rainbow cookies, like the multiple layer ones.
Wait, multiple layered
Or
cookies?
like an Italian rainbow cookie, with like the red and the yellow and the green. Or just like an old-fashioned chocolate chip. But I just really enjoy it. I think there's something about you know, you usually bake for others. It's not like you're baking, you know, 36 things for yourself.
You
And
could.
So you could. It would be a different scenario. But I feel like then you give them to somebody, right? And then it brings joy, right? And then you feed off of that. And I feel like it turns what was something stressful into a moment of calm, but then feeling good because you've made somebody else happy.
Oh my gosh, I have to think about doing that now. I literally just bake at home and I just eat it myself. So maybe there is joy to sharing your snacks. You know? But thank you guys so much. I'm so happy to have you guys on our first episode of Network Inspired.
It was really fun. Thank you for having us.
I know, thank you so much. Did you guys have any last things that you want to say?
For me, I would encourage the audience to never give up. When there are times of discouragement, make sure to tap into your support network and also within yourself, but know that things will always work out, and don't give up because they will always end up just the right way your life is supposed to be.
I hadn't thought about this one, but I think it's really don't be afraid to be yourself and to own who you want to be in the moment, and don't really adapt to fit into the room, as Basama St. John had said, right? But really own your own confidence, and if something's not working for you, don't be afraid to step up and change it.
Be brave, take that leap. If you want to start a channel, like, do it. Don't let, you know, the fear of harassment or people like making fun of you hold you back. Like, stand firm. If like what you want to do, like, you're amazing most likely, so just do it.
I love it.
You got it.
Well, I want to give a final big thank you to Genji and Burberry for making this happen. Like, thank you so much for having everyone today. I had such a good time. And make sure you join us on our next episode. See you next time on Network Inspire.
Bye.